Welcome back. Got crazy out here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Race to Wrestling podcast. I am your gracious host himself, L. Sky. You see, well, you don't see, but that name should be on the screen. People, I'm going to show you guys my eyes today. Because it's a sad moment, people. Let me cut this down a little bit. Hold on a second, people. It is a sad moment today. And I think we all know where I'm going with this. I want you guys to see my eyes when I say this is a sad day. On the screen, I'm not going to show much of today of anything other than me talking. And then we're going to cover, like I say, probably a little bit moving forward for the Saturday night main event. But I think that we all felt it. If we didn't, something's wrong. But this business was a sad day. It was a pum-puming of the one and only main event Jey Uso. They pum-pumed his whole career last night, y'all. It's over. It's over, guys. It's over. They done killed that man's career. It's no longer a thing. No more will he be a thing. You want to know how I know it? Because you feel it too. Let me get serious and start talking about this. People, when I saw him step into that ring, I'm going to tell you last night, I said, there we go. This is, and if anybody like me, I'm going to start at the beginning. So, when that music hit, so at this moment, for anybody who didn't see last night, in the middle of the ring is the New Day versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. They're standing face to face in the ring. And then Jey Uso's music hit. Boom, here he comes yeeting. First and foremost, excuse me, I'm sorry. I got to stop drinking these energy drinks before I start shooting. First and foremost, so as soon as the music hits, the first thing I thought to myself is that, is this really a moment where they should be coming down from the rafters damn near? Should they be coming through the crowd or should they be coming from the back? That was a coming from the back moment. You do not have time in the middle of beefing. You did not have time. And then on top of it, what they end up saying when they got in the ring, that shit don't even fit. Because they were tough when they got in the ring. Why did you eat all the way to the ring in the middle of a confrontation? It is okay. Look. The WWE, the Yeet, look, I'm going to say this. Matter of fact, let me say it this way. This is how I know they want Jey gone bye-bye. Till last night was a nail in the coffin, yes. But before we even get there, the intro tells you everything you need to know. You have this man in the middle of a conflict, in the middle of the crowd, yeeting. Picking up babies and yeeting in the crowd. Then you come back down and then you want to do an encore of yeeting in the middle of a conflict. That is sabotage if I don't know what is. That is a come from the back, get in the ring with some energy. I'll give you an example of what I mean. The Rock always had the same interest when he came to the ring. Every time he came to the ring, he had the same interest, unless he needed to be more intense. I've watched this man walk right down to the middle of the ring, didn't worry nothing about getting on the side of that rope, throwing that one hand up. He did none of that. He did none of that. He got in that ring and he acted accordingly. What is this yeeting in the middle of the ring? You did that on purpose. And then to get in that ring, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, he is definitely ready to turn on Jimmy. They're talking this stupid shit about them ready to be a tag team again, but he's ready to turn on Jimmy. Watch, here it comes. And it don't happen. I said, oh my God, y'all have literally said to this man, we don't want you here. Go away, Jey Uso. Jey Uso, please leave us. I don't know how he's feeling, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is a quitting offense right here. Another thing, he said this spot right here, he's telling them, I just paused it. This is YouTube. This is paused. He said at this moment right here, oh, we want gold. So you didn't want gold as a single star? You put everybody on notice for the tag team division. Did you put everybody on notice for the singles division? This is not directed at Jey. This is directed at the direction of Jey Uso, the character. Wow. I am really hurting for him tonight. Wow. What are he supposed to do with that? You've taken the tag team that we all have known and grown and loved, and you've made it to where now I don't care. I don't. Great. They win the title over Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. So what? You held the heavyweight championship. Look, I was just talking yesterday. I said, can y'all imagine what a year? If you're anything like me, when the Royal Rumble this past year happened, I honestly didn't know who was going to win. But when I see John Cena in there at the ending, right there at the end, I said, oh, God, of course they're giving it to this pale ass. But they didn't. Shocked me. I'm in my chair like a 12-year-old schoolgirl, literally excited for Jey. I knew at that moment, this man is going to WrestleMania. He's going to win it all. He gets down there. I've already covered it enough time. It was so trash, I'm not even going to cover it again. But you didn't even give the man an opportunity to hold the title in a sufficient amount of time. You didn't give him a chance to build his character, enough feud. Who was Jey Uso's feud? You did all that build up for WrestleMania to never give him one person to go at. Wrestling used to be like this. When a person got the title, they held it, they do it. And I'm going to tell you how I think it worked behind the scenes. Once the person, either it worked or it doesn't work, but you have to figure out a way to remove the title from the person. And I know they talk about this behind the scene. They have to. We have to talk about how we remove the title from the person, because how we take it off the person, it actually has great implications on their career moving forward, i.e. Kofi Kingston, make him lose in 2.2 seconds. See where his career has gone since then. See, this is important, and I know they know this. I know this, so I know they know this. I'm not a wrestling aficionado or wrestling savant. I'm not a wrestling executive. I'm none of those things. So if I know this, I know they know this. So to have Jey at the top of this year, you put your whole company on that man back because of Royal Rumble, to turn around and make him kick and spear all the way down to this, and it ain't even been a year. Wow. I don't want to spend the whole day on it, but it feels like a funeral up in here with the way that worked. I have other shows that I do, and on there I have a thing called effervescence. That is when I take a scent and you spray it in the air. You have to get some of that off. Get some of this pum out of the air, because they pum your career, Jey. It's over, brother. You're a Hall of Famer, yes, but the future is not so bright anymore. But moving on. We've we've effervescence the area, so I feel like my mood is picking up. It's picking up. Effervescence is picking up. All right. What is next? What is next on the talking schedule today? Okay. Let's just talk about the show itself. First and foremost, I always like to, before I come on air, because I watched this last night. It's the next day. I like to watch, and I like to recap the show, is what I'm trying to say, before I go on air. So everything's fresh in my head so when I get to talking about it. And I'm going to be honest, guys. Let's just be honest. I'm not trying to trash the business. I would just love to talk about it and everything else. But let's just be honest. What we're doing with this business isn't working. I am from the era. I remember Raw is war. I remember when the show went from Raw to Warzone. I remember the 2-hour show. I remember that from the first opening of the show all the way through the end, you got entertained with content from multiple people, not just 3 or 4 or the same 6 people every episode, because last night's card was horrible. It was so underwhelming. It was like, that should have been NXT. That's how it's like, this is not. Look, in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, when wrestling was that especially that attitude era, when it was at its peak, people could have paid premium dollar and got premium product. Y'all asking for premium dollar and y'all giving us amateur product. I don't want to have this energy that I feel the effervescence come back. Effervescence. All right, come. I'm just saying, WWE. It's not working. I know the numbers are not working. I know that you know that your talent isn't happy with what's going on. You cannot tell me behind the scenes right now that there's not an energy back there of, man, we're just not doing good. This could be better. I need a shot. What's going on? Today is the day I posted my pitch to the WWE about Montez Ford, and I'm not going to make it about him so much today. It is the fact of people like that just don't get on TV at all. And I got to look at Logan Paul over and over again. And as you now see him, as I can tell, he's going to be on here moving forward in a great capacity, and nobody asked for him. You just wanted to put him out there. Look, I've been saying this for the longest. And I definitely need for everyone to get on board with this. WWE, AEW, and all the rest. You need to stop playing on the racial line. For all the white people listening, this is the time you turn off the show because this is the race to wrestling part of the show. Okay? So just mute for about 5 minutes and come back. Okay? But it's time that wrestling is affected so heavily right now because they are refusing to go after real talent and find real organic talent, because I think they know, like we all know, that lies within a lot of black people. Especially in this lane, because the basis of most people in this sport is athleticism, and we just have it in abundance. But when I turn on the TV and I see Brie Bella non-acting ass that reign ended over a decade ago back in the center stage. That's what I'm trying to say. I see Brie Bella back center stage again. But y'all not going after real talent. Look. You can't tell me in the 1970s, 80s especially, that you found Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, and you can find a Junkyard Dog and a Teddy Atlas, and you can find a NWA and a Road Warriors at a random bar somewhere. You can find all that talent. Then when we don't have no internet, we not all connected, people still got rotary phones. You can find enough talent to today. We are still glorifying those people, whether they were the Hall of Famers down to people we can barely remember, i.e. the missing link. Yes, I know I'm a wrestling purist in my mind. But I say all this to say, this is how I know that you are just trying to hold on to a way that don't work no more. And I'm saying that because it don't work. If it worked, you would be winning with your talent, but last night's show was horrible. But I'm going to tell you guys, this is what you got to do moving forward. You're going to have to get on them college campuses. You're going to have to go out to them track and fields. You're going to have to go out to those WNBA games for the women's division. For the men, you're going to have to go out to the football fields, especially them football fields. You're going to go to them basketball ones if you want a slanky one, but you're going to have to go out there and you're going to do it. You're going to have to start now again, going into like places like Atlanta. You're going to have to start coming into Atlanta. And you got to start looking at people who are trying to be YouTubers, or you go into a place like a New York where people are definitely heavy on YouTube and this and the third, and they got platforms and these streamers, some of these athletic boys. I see you over there with iSpeed. He ain't the only one. He kind of little, but get somebody with a little more weight on him. But I promise you, this is where it's going. And if you don't want to get on board, it's not going to work. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn who the masked man is. Because the premise of it is it's supposed to be Seth Rollins. I don't care who is in the. I don't care if it's Austin Theory. I don't. I don't care if it's Dean Ambrose. I don't care if it's any of them, because all it is, the premise is it's Seth Rollins, which I'm tired of seeing. Look, I need people to realize in years. I think this. Let's look at the context. Let's use it. Remember wrestling in 1990? You're talking about short-haired Undertaker, Macho Man. Texas Tornado's probably still around at this point. This is 1990. By the year 2000 hit, you have The Rock and Stone Cold, and you got Kane emerge as a character. All these people, Young Jericho, all them there in 2000. Do you know how long and how many years it felt like in between 1990 and 2000 in wrestling years? But now go back 10 years ago to 2015. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, all of these people are still around today. It is 10 freaking years later. You ain't developed nobody else to a level that they should be at. Nobody, you have not leveled anybody up new to where Rock is at 10 years later. So that means in 1990, The Rock was nowhere to be found. By the year 2000, this man is a household name. Go back to 2015. Nobody was on the roster. The only people on the roster then is still popular today. There ain't nobody came along in those 10 years, in no 2019, no 2000, 2020, no 2021, no 2022. None of them came along and became a level of a star to what The Rock was by 2000, if that makes any sense at all. I'm just saying, guys, we are all watching this thing, and I get hate all the time. Just saying I'm just a mean person and I just want to make it about race. No, what I'm saying is that I see value in the people who look like me. I have to hear them make jokes. Look, I'm raised in this culture. I have sat with men who are so athletic and done things I've never seen it on TV before. I've watched men pick up weight so much that the bar bends. And it's so much on it. He's pumping it 10, 15 times. I've seen this. I'm looking at CT Fletcher 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm looking at CT Fletcher and I'm thinking of WWE. If that's a white dude, why you don't go get CT? That man ain't nothing but a character and he built. That's a star waiting to happen right there. But it's just, when I watch this stuff, it's like saying, this sport, you got an abundance of people around just waiting to get it. Like I'm saying, I have people I've been around that make me laugh to my stomach hurt and are also athletic. I've been around people who are so intense with characters that can bring you to tears. They're acting it so well. I've seen it, and they are also athletic. I'm telling you, where are the valets? They don't all have to be athletic. Where's the mouth? Where's the next Paul Heyman? Forget even race with that one. Forget even race on any of these levels. I'm just saying, I ain't seen characters in my community that would rival Paul Heyman and be just as entertaining, if not even more. Hell, and this is not cocky, and I'm not lying. Give me a microphone. I can put on the show. I promise you that. I trigger enough people on here. I promise you I can do it in real time. I can also make a person love me to death because they know what I'm saying is the truth. And this don't come from hate. I just love the sport and I want to see it do better. I want to get up and be excited for the Saturday night main event. I'm being honest, I'm not excited to see John. I'm not excited for what's on the board right now. Again, like I said, I was watching this right before we came on. And I'm watching the Paul Gunther's in the ring. And people are yelling at him, "You're boring! Get him out of here!" All this is going on. But this is John Cena's last match. That means this is not John picking him. It's been a company pick Gunther. But why? 10 years from now, people are not going to be talking. They're going to be talking about how great he was in the ring, how he was a good opponent to see. But that man needs something. Give him a mouthpiece. Hell, Paul Heyman should be with him. And I hate to say that because I miss him with the bloodline. I really do. I miss him. They were cool as shit. It was really fun to watch. But it's amazing to watch something be so amazing become so trash, man, by the end. But I know I wanted to talk about that. Oh, what else I want to discuss? Oh, I know what else I want to discuss. LA Knight. LA Knight, aka the White Negro. Why do I call him that? Man, they treat LA Knight like he's a Negro, boy, don't it? Like, I get sometimes you have to go down to come back up. It's like anything else, like working out. You know how you have to break your body down to get stronger again, right? So I thought maybe LA Knight's career, what they were doing recently was that they would have him taking a bunch of L's, but he was coming back strong and gonna come back strong and come back strong. And I thought they were gonna do that with Jey too. But now I'm starting to realize, no, neither the two are happening. It seems like they just got him as a punching bag at this point. They can't beat nobody. And I'm just at this point, I'm mad for him. Look, white people, I am mad for you. I am mad with you and for you when it comes to LA Knight. Let's get them. I'm with you. Let's get these people out of office and out of the WWE offices, and let's get that man over the finish line, because this is injustice what that white man is going through. So I'm with the white people on this one. Damn it. LA Knight is not a white Negro. He is better than this. Damn it. I don't know. I'm stupid. Don't pay me no attention. All right. What else I want to talk about? I ain't going to stay on this too long. And I'm not going to stay too long. I was watching the show last night. Like I said, hold on one second. And I was watching the show last night. And the reason why I keep bringing up, nothing. I forgot this too. The New Day. Poll things. I don't know what this look is. I get the black is dark. It's supposed to mean tough. I get it. It's not Kofi. And I don't want to keep bringing his name up. But Xavier, what is this you doing with your hair? Please, someone, please. I know he has a Caucasian woman, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If he do, look, just take him down to the hood, right? Go to like Mimi's Press and Curl or something, right? Take him down there, say to them sisters, hey, fix him up, make him look like what is tough but sexy in the hood. And then glow that man up, because this look, I don't know where you're going, because you're going to Beverly Hills. Xavier, what is this? What is this? No, stop it. That's what I want you to do, okay? So do that, take him down there, fix that, and I promise you, things gonna get better for you. Now, and you got kicked the other dude out the group. He don't fit, he making y'all look clownish. I don't know, when did he join? Let me be honest. I didn't even see when he joined. When did he join, and why is he there? Are they trying to say they need a third person to push life into them? If they do, get somebody that's serious, since you're trying to make them serious right now. Like, all right, and you got to mention, this is a black faction. Wrestling goes off color lines when it comes to groups a lot of times. Now, I know we have racial groups a lot, but I'm not saying it for that. I'm just saying, a lot of times you're going to get a black guy, gonna be another black guy. You get a white guy, gonna be another white guy. And I have no problem with it. So I'm just saying, in this group, since Big E obviously can't get cleared, I feel so sorry for him. But obviously he can't be cleared. This would be, I tell you what, this would be a perfect time. I hate to bring him up every week, but I guess I'm trying to keep the man's name alive since he done damn near fell completely off the map. But this is the perfect time to bring up the Street Profits. But I'm gonna go in a different direction. But I would put Dawkins with the New Day. Bigger, athletic, strong, cool with them. He could fit kind of cool in with them. I would put Dawkins with them and put him in that Big E role. Let Montez be able to go off and do a solo run and everything after that. I'm telling you, I think it's a perfect scenario for both of them. It gives him the time to still be able to grow and not fall off by the wayside. They're on TV. He's very athletic, so he's very, very talented. I always tell people with Dawkins' only issue is two things: his name, one, two, and the second thing is his outfit and the way his appearance. Because if he fixed those things, he's very athletic. He's a big guy. Like, for me, I would say this. I would tell all big guys, if you have a level of athleticism, rely on that. But get in really good shape. Get in really good shape and rely on your athleticism. It's going to set you apart because you're so goddamn big. You get what I'm saying? So go do that and then set yourself apart. Get a look. Get an edge to you. Be a heel. Because you got that look, Dawkins. I see it in your eye. Y'all remember that a couple of months back when they were flirting and him and Montez was gonna break up again, and they were looking at each other, and I feel like they're both on the outside of the ring, but they were standing at each other like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up later. Ooh, you know that look they were doing, right? Well, I'm be honest with you, Dawkins look more realistic to me than Montez did. So that's why I know he has something. So I would put him with the New Day. Perfect situation. Great story. Matter of fact, have him enter in by turning on Montez. That's what you could do. Have the New Day go against the Street Profits and then have him turn on Montez. And you need a reason. Triple H, you don't like to have reasons. You just like to just change shit every week. But the reason he could use is he could say, I know you wanted to go solo anyway, Tez. So stop playing. You've been flirting with trying to go solo for the longest. You've been trying to make it seem like I'm second to you for the longest. These brothers stepped up and wanted to talk to me, Montez. That's what Dawkins needs to say in the scene. They need to be like that and then put him with the group. So I joined the group. I joined the New Day. They see the talent that I have. They see that I'm the missing link to where they needed to go, unlike you. That's what he should tell them, just like that. I'm telling you, if he say that to him, it'll sell. And even then, Montez is your first opponent. Because I was always, I was adamantly against Dawkins being his first opponent when he goes solo, because the way they were setting it up, it wasn't going to be beneficial to either one of them to feud. No one was going to care that they were beefing with each other because neither one of them had enough heat on each other. But if you do it this way, potentially you can drum up enough heat. And then that way, Montez can go off and do his own thing after he stop beefing with you guys. And then the Dawkins, you with them. You help the New Day in so far as athleticism and look. And he can do so because that nigga jumping out the ring, he like a big Kofi. You put the belts on them boys, you put Dawkins over there. I think he'll have a better run with the New Day. Dare I say he'll have a better run with the New Day than with the Street Profits. I will. I think so. I truly do. And that's crazy for me to say, in my opinion. But y'all say. But anyways, all right, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all all day long. But I didn't have much. Let's go ahead and preview the Saturday Night Johns. Versus Gunther. Let's get it over with. What are you guys looking forward to seeing when it comes to this? Like, what are you guys left? What are you like? Are you sad that this is John's last match? What do you expect to happen? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't like the way they did it. I don't. What you do is you could, and I wouldn't have announced that in the beginning of the year that they were going to be, this was going to be his last match in December. What I would have done is right here at the end, like maybe a month or so ago, John should have came on an episode and was like, after losing. Matter of fact, could have lost one of those big matches he lost, like Lesnar's match. He could lose that percentage. Since y'all didn't do nothing with that, like, that's the crazy part. You had the man on his, no, let me say this, and then I'm gonna come back to the whole purpose of the thing. But I had to say it because I've never said this out loud, and it needs to be said. I've heard no one else say this. What the hell was the purpose of having John Cena face Brock Lesnar on his way out and get beat that way? Can someone please tell me what was the purpose for that? It's not like Lesnar is 25 years old and you're putting him over. Lesnar just damn old. He's on the way out. So it don't make no sense that you did that with John. It's like, y'all just want to embarrass him one more time before he's gone. It makes no sense. So that makes no sense. So, but at the end of this, what I would have said if I was John, let me get back on topic, but I had to say that because that made no sense to me. But I get back on topic. What you should do is, at the end, after that Lesnar match, what he could have done is he could have set up at the match and says, you know what, people? I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. I've tried, and I just can't do it anymore. So, you know what? I think and then when he do, matter of fact, leave it there. Drop your head, head out of the ring. Next day, next show, you come to the middle of the ring, you say, after long, hard thinking, after basically saying the John Cena experience has dominated wrestling for almost 2 decades, Father Time is undefeated for a reason. And Father Time has basically told me that time has come, son. And so what I'm telling the wrestling world is that this is the time that I'm going to step away from here. This is what he should have did instead of doing this whole long ass tour. He shouldn't have never done it. He should just say he was gonna wrestle again. And did all the shit that he did this year the same way he did it. He should have did just like that. But then at the end of the year, right after this, he should have said, now, after all this hard thinking and all of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out with a John Cena experience. That way, it gives me one last shot to show that I can go out with a bang with one of the big dogs. And I'm telling you, whoever wins this tournament, you going to get every ounce of what John freaking Cena has left. And then the stupid crowd can erupt. Oh, John Cena, yeah, I love him, great, I love him. And then you're going to have to pick somebody other than Gunther. I'm sorry, WWE, that does nothing to move the post. He beats John Cena, so the fuck what? Don't nobody care. You're going to move on to the next Raw, and we're going to have another Raw. And ain't nobody going to care. I don't, okay, so John Cena beats Gunther, so the fuck what? He was on his way out. See you later, John. Shut the door behind yourself when you leave. But I don't understand why we're billing this thing as being something special. Y'all could have did something way better than this. To be honest with you, what you should have did is ask The Rock to come back and do it. He's thinned out too. You should have asked him to come back and do this with John Cena. So they could have did that. They tied, if I'm not mistaken. John won one, Rock won one. So what I would do is I would go in there, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, kiss my ass. And then from there, y'all can break the tie. This is it. We're going out with a bang. That's what I would have done. It makes sense to me, but who am I? I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, guys, that was today's episode of Race West. I'm going to probably come back a little later this week when I got my co-host, Miss Destiny, back on the L, so she can give me that girl's point of view when it comes to it. I watched the girls' matches last night. A lot of times I like to leave it up to her so she can have the conversation about the girls. The only thing I want to say about the girls' division is that it is very whack. It's hard to watch. That Rodriguez woman ain't tough at all. Big and just big for nothing. And then you towering over these little midget girls and you trying to convince me it's tough. You know what's about bad is, and it's off topic, but this is what it looks like. I am watching that TV show called The Last of Us, which is a very good show, right? This is not to knock the show. But what I'm saying, I'm watching the show. My only complaint for the show is that the main girl in the show, if this is if you were going to make her a fighter, you should have picked someone who was more realistic to look at as a fighter, right? But they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. What he did is they chose to basically get a child like a 14-year-old and then put them on the screen. And it just makes no sense to me. So, but that's what wrestling looks like with the girls now. With these little young girls in the ring, that's what they look like. They look like little children just like she does on that show. And they look so unrealistic. I always like to pick and say that it's like watching Angelina Jolie fight them people in these movies she used to do. I used to say, she just looks so unrealistic. That woman is 12 pounds. And they love to do that. Wait, I'm gonna tell you, I know you, well, anyway, I ain't gonna mess with y'all. I'm ready to pick it, y'all, but let me leave it alone. But all right, guys, that's today's episode. Ready to knock over shit. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, all right? See you later, man. Peace.